97.90 and 104.7 KFGO from Atomic Dog there. Good afternoon and welcome back to The Drive. I'm Dan Michaels. Paulie Lyons is our producer. Paul Juergens, the KFGO News Center. More news with Mr. Juergens coming up at 4:30 this afternoon. Last time we were talking with author Jean Alfieri, we didn't get to the point where we were able to talk about transporting animals for various reasons for the Humane Society and perhaps other entities. So I wanted to make sure that we had Jean back to talk about that because yesterday was National Rescue Dog Day, and she's got a new book out, and there's other things going on with her life here. Jean Alfieri is author of short story rhymers, starring an often mischievous and always adorable pug named Zuggy. Jean, a native of Chicago, always had a fondness for dogs no matter where she's lived. I believe she lives in Colorado now. Let's reintroduce Jean Alfieri to KFGO. Hi, Jean.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Are you in Colorado now?
Yes, I'm in Colorado Springs.
Ah, beautiful. That's Air Force Academy, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, boy. Do you have those planes flying around very much? Do you hear that stuff?
We do. I have to say it's pretty intriguing, especially around graduation time, because there's all sorts of weird things in the sky. It's very entertaining.
I bet. And you're wondering sometimes, here, is that ours or not? Anyway,
right.
Jean, it's great to have you back. So, Jean, before we get into the meat of what we wanted to talk about, I'd like to do a little bit more background on you. Why are you such an animal lover, proponent? How'd you come up with Zuggy, the rescue pug? Give us some background.
Sure. Well, I don't really have a reason for being so attached to dogs, but they've always found their way to me, and I've always enjoyed having them around. Zuggy was adopted when he was 5 years old, when I was living in Phoenix, Arizona. And if there is such a thing as a soul dog, he was it for me. And when he passed, I was, of course, deeply saddened, but the thought of losing his memories were, that was tragic for me. And so I started writing. And when I wrote these stories, they made me laugh. And I thought, wow, other people should enjoy these. And kids especially love pugs. And so I made easy reader rhymers with them, and they just keep coming. I mean, I have a pug now. I don't know that I ever won't have a pug in the house because they're just such a special breed, and that's where they come from.
So, Jean, how many books have you written now?
This is book number 5. Book number 5 for Zuggy the Pug, and then there are 2 journals. And the most recent journal that came out earlier this year is called Blessed to Be Your Dog, and it's a guided journal, if you will. It has prompts and story starters for people to be able to write their story with their dog.
That's really neat. That's a great idea. Jean, National Rescue Dog Day was yesterday. You walk the walk as well as talk the talk. Can you fill us in? The more I hear about this, the more intriguing I find it, and the more I'd like to get involved, I think, one day in doing this. But you actually assist in transporting animals for various reasons to be adopted. Only shelters can take these certain animals, etc. Explain what that transportation relay company or program is like.
Sure. So our Humane Society is a larger one within the community in Colorado Springs. And there are many different jobs. You can walk dogs, you can be a matchmaker and introduce dogs to people. I've done those jobs, but where my heart has really sat is with being what is called a rescue ranger. I feel like I should be wearing a cape. It's such a cool title.
Yeah.
And what we do is we go to different shelters and we pick up dogs, and they're usually smaller shelters that financially have more of a burden in feeding larger breed dogs for any length of time. And usually it's the smaller dogs that are easily adopted out. So we go, most recently we went to Durango, and that's a 6-hour travel. So we stay overnight, and then we pick up dogs on the way back to Colorado Springs from different shelters and bring them back so that they can be adopted here. What was really interesting with this last trip was we were heading to one of the shelters along our route, and we had, our stations set for the dogs, and we are in a big cargo van, and there were some openings. We had puppies, and of course litters will go in the same area, with their litter mates and such. And so we had a couple extra stations, and our transport manager said, could you check on a Chihuahua named Dean? she said, he apparently screams. She said, I have a description of him, but I can't quite picture the screaming, and I don't know if we could, adopt him out. And I went, oh, okay, well, we have a Chihuahua, and those who have a Chihuahua would know that they're a little high-strung, right, the whole shivering thing and everything. And so we pulled in, and my transport partner, who is a cat person, said, why don't you go check on Dean? He was going to give me the reins on this one. I said, okay. So I went in, and we quickly moved to Dean's kennel, and he was a joy. He sat right in my lap. He brought me a ball. He tried giving me little kisses. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. My husband says no more dogs. And so it seemed like an easy call to me. And I said, what's going on with Dean? And the woman said, he does this screaming thing, and nobody really wants to meet him. He's been in 3 shelters already. He's been, moved around, and we just don't know that we can adopt him out. Well, it seemed like an easy answer to me. So I hooked him up. And, we got him dressed, and out we went, and I introduced him to my transport partner. I said, I think we're taking Dean. He goes, yeah, it looks like it. So we got him in a station, and as soon as we closed the door, Dan, screaming, like blood-curdling, ear-piercing, screaming, and I swung the door shut, and we looked at each other, and my partner, kind of held his ear and went, oh, my gosh, I guess that's the scream. And I went, yeah, hopefully he'll settle down. Well, as we drove, he was fine. But when we got to the next place, as soon as we opened the door, the screaming again. And so we got him back. And what's really fortunate in our Humane Society is we have a behavioral modification team, and they work with the dogs that need special help. So, we check and make sure they're healthy, physically healthy, but we want to make sure behaviorally that they're able to be adopted out as well. And I'm happy to report that Dean got adopted out in just 2 weeks.
Oh, very cool. That's kind of a unique selling point, too. I mean, to the right family that he screams instead of barks or whatever.
Right.
Depending on, what you like. So, Rescue Rangers, this sounds really cool. And so we had a story just perchance, and I'm glad that you don't, discriminate against felines, by the way, because I'm a cat guy. But we had a story on yesterday where a lady spent $160 on an Uber when she rescued a kitten. It was in traffic. She stopped traffic, jumped out, rescued the kitten. The kitten could be adopted, but had to be at a certain specific place. So she bought an Uber for $160 and had the cat transported via Uber to down there. So that's not the Rescue Rangers or anything.
Bless her heart. No.
But you can get involved with these Rescue Rangers, and what they ask you to do is drive 100, 200 miles, meet someone else, relay off an animal that needs to be brought in for health care or whatever the reason is for the transport. And then you have 4 or 5 people, and they all form like a relay, right?
Yes, it is really unique, and especially when there are storms or hurricanes coming in on the coast, we will get animals as far away as Louisiana and Texas because they need to empty their kennels and their shelters, understanding that it's very possible and very likely they're going to have a lot of strays when those storms hit. So especially during times like that, we really pick up what we can to relieve them from the volume they have.
So if somebody wants to be a rescue ranger, wants to be involved in that part of it, do they just get a hold of their local Humane Society?
Yes.
Okay.
They get a hold of their local Humane Society, and there's usually a list of different available volunteer positions, and they can sign up specifically for what they're interested in doing.
Okay, so what's next with you? Now, Zuggy the Rescue Pug, Spooky Ooky Stories. What's
we've
that?
got a trilogy of spooky stories, and we wanted to dedicate this, right, to all the kids who love something scary. So there's 3, and they actually build on each other. They stand alone, but they're more interesting when you read them together. So that came out yesterday. And like I said, Blessed to Be Your Dog is also available. In fact, I'd love to offer to your listeners, if they'd like a sample chapter, all they have to do is email me, and I'd be delighted to send them a sample chapter.
Okay, so you can get a sample chapter of which book did you say it was again?
Blessed to Be Your Dog, the guided journal.
And what is that?
So what it is it's unique because there are 2 parts to it. So many people want to tell their story but don't know where to start. And so what it offers is story starters or prompts. For the first part, there are 7. And you would tell your story about your dog per the questions that are asked from your own voice, in your own voice, just as you would write it down typically. Then the second part of the book is story starters for your dog. So you're actually going to speak in your dog's voice because, of course, we all know what they're thinking and exactly how they'd say it. So you will actually tell the story from your dog's point of view.
And why would dog lovers want to do this, Jean?
Oh, it's just so heartwarming. And, when I put together the first journal, which is really about capturing your own life stories, I met many people when I was out signing books that said, hey, do you have a special part about our dog? We want to capture our dog stories. Well, Dan, that's where it all started for me, was capturing stories about my dog. And so why wouldn't I think other people would want to do the same? So I actually broke it out and created a whole different book just for that.
Okay. So if people email you, you'll give them a sample chapter.
I would. And my email address is Jean, Jean, at blessed to be me, BLESSED, to be me.com.
Okay, I'm writing that down so I can repeat that a couple times. Jean at blessedtobeme.com. Jean at blessedtobeme.com. Jean is spelled with a J, Jean.
Yeah.
Jean at blessedtobeme.com. Well, we got to have you back again when there's another situation going on with animals, etc. Jean, I'd love to keep having you back on the air. I love your advocacy for dogs, and that you're not a snob. You're not a cat snob.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Dan. I love talking to you as well.
We'll look for your books, and again, if anybody wants to get a sample chapter of Jean's Blessed to Be Your Dog guided journal, it's Jean at blessedtobeme.com, and just go out there and check it out. And it's JeanAlfieri.com is her website. It's Jean, and
that's it.
ALFIERI, JeanAlfieri.com, and you can see all sorts of stuff about Zuggy the Pug and lots more out there. Jean, always a pleasure to talk to you. You can hear what we're getting played off the stage again.
Yep. Very good. Thanks, Dan.
Probably means it's time to go. Thank you very, very much, Jean. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much.
You too. Take care.
Take care. KFGO time is 4:22. You're listening to The Drive on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
You're listening to The Drive with Dan Michaels.
I guess I was going about 65 tops.
7 miles an hour.
On the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
Lakeland General Store, the #1 flow dealer in the USA, now has a second location just east of Detroit Lakes on Highway 10. Lakeland Dock and Lift is your summer fun superstore. Stop by today and check out the best in docks, lifts, and all the accessories. Clean your beach with Hydro Sweep or Beach Roller, plus a large selection of grills, including the Big Green Egg. The new Lakeland Dock and Lift, located 2 miles east of Detroit Lakes on Highway 10, or online at lakelanddl.com.
The Moorhead Center Mall offers 4 of the area's best restaurants, including authentic Nepali and Indian cuisine at Everest Tikka House, award-winning dishes from the Thai Orchid Restaurant, classic American food and drinks from Vic's Bar and Grill, and Jay's Smoke and Barbecue with daily meat and sandwich specials. There are several unique retailers and dozens of services offered at the Moorhead Center Mall. Store hours may vary. Thank you for supporting our small, locally owned businesses in downtown Moorhead. Be sure to check us out online at moorheadcentermall.com.
Hi, this is Ed Schaefer.
And Nancy Schaefer, too, with an important message.
After we received our vaccinations, we realized one of the things we missed most during these past pandemic months was interaction with our fellow North Dakotans.
We are eager to reconnect with your hugs and handshakes as it becomes safer for all of us to interact again.
Our vaccinations renewed our hope and excitement to be engaged in the community once more.
We urge every North Dakotan to get your COVID vaccine shots so we can all stay safe and healthy.
See you around North Dakota soon.
Sponsored by AARP.
Get ready, race fans. Sunday, May 23rd, Buffalo River Speedway brings you more race action featuring limited late models, lightning sprints, and more. Gates open at 4, racing at 6 p.m. Buffalo River Speedway Sunday nights at 6 p.m. with great racing and family fun. Just 15 minutes east of Fargo.
There's a better way to get the bathroom of your dreams, and that's with Bath Fitter. Give their Fargo showroom a call at 701-365-0068 to set up a free in-home consultation. You'll soon discover that Bath Fitter features seamless walls and a watertight fit, installation in as little as 1 day, and a lifetime warranty. The expert choice for bathtub and shower remodeling is Bath Fitter. Bathroom remodeling that will last a lifetime. Visit bathfitternd.com today.
Why are Subarus so popular in this area? It's because Subaru just makes good sense.
According to Kelley Blue Book, Subaru is the most trusted brand winner for 7 years running. And Subaru is a 4-time lowest 5-year cost-to-own brand winner. Area Subaru owners know that the safety and security of Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive is invaluable 4 seasons of the year. Test drive a new Subaru today at Muscatel Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead.
Back to The Drive with Dan Michaels on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO.
That's right, I'm sad and blue, cause I can't do the boogaloo. I'm lost, can't do my thing, and that's why I sing, gimme that thing.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO. Good afternoon. Welcome back to The Drive. Time to get into